Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving straight into something absolutely fascinating, the hidden, raw power of today's most advanced artificial intelligence. We're going to strip away the training wheels and look at what these restricted systems can actually do. And then, from those hard, cutting-edge cybersecurity realities, we'll journey all the way to an ancient, profound, philosophical solution for the future of AI. It's a huge shift in perspective, but as you'll soon see, the two are intrinsically connected. Let's get into it.
So, here's our roadmap for this explainer. 1. The true power of AI. 2. The safety alignment problem. 3. Zero-day vulnerability threats. 4. The flaw in human data. And finally, 5. The golden rule of AI.
All right, Section 1, the true power of AI and the illusion of limitation. So what really happens when AI gets too smart? You know, it's so easy to look at the chatbots we interact with every day and just assume they're, well, kind of like fancy autocorrects, right? Just helpful little tools for drafting an email or summarizing a long article. But the reality of what top-tier models can actually do behind closed doors right now, it is genuinely startling.
There is just this massive gap between what the public sees and what is actually going on. Every day, we interact with these hyper-polite, highly restricted systems. They apologize constantly, they refuse to touch sensitive topics, but behind the scenes, unreleased versions of models like GPT or Claude possess literal PhD-level logical reasoning. We're talking about systems that can independently code full-stack software entirely from scratch. They analyze incredibly complex data sets and execute multi-step, autonomous workflows without a single human lifting a finger. Basically, the systems we use are heavily nerfed. Their true raw capacity is staggering, and it's being intentionally kept out of view.
And the sheer velocity of this evolution, that's what's truly mind-bending. Think about it. Not too long ago, we had AlphaGo mastering intuitive strategy through self-learning, completely shocking the world by beating champions at a game we thought required human feeling. Fast forward to right now. Current restricted models are already hitting that 90% plus mark in human PhD-level reasoning benchmarks. And looking just ahead, the expert consensus projects the arrival of AGI, Artificial General Intelligence, sometime between 2029 and 2033. That's an AI that can autonomously learn across domains and truly understand the physical world. Unconstrained AGI is, practically speaking, right around the corner.
Which brings us to Section 2, the safety alignment problem. Why hold AI back?
Now, you might be wondering, if these systems are so incredibly capable, why on earth hold them back? Well, the answer is alignment. In the tech world, this is the strict, exhausting process of building a digital cage of rules around the AI. It's meant to ensure the model's outputs consistently match our human-defined safety guidelines. Think of it like hard-coding a very rigid, unreadable set of commandments the AI absolutely cannot violate, mostly focused on rejecting anything sensitive, dangerous, or harmful. Because of this rigorous alignment process, the AI strictly refuses to help with illegal or violent queries, which is obviously a good thing. But it also acts super conservative on edge cases. It often plays it way too safe on highly creative tasks. Now, this digital cage is successful at preventing immediate massive misuse without totally destroying the AI's underlying intelligence. But the trade-off, it leads to the highly sanitized, predictable, and sometimes, let's be honest, kind of boring outputs that you and I get today. That raw, terrifying intelligence is absolutely still in there. It's just heavily boxed in.
Let's move to Section 3. Zero-day vulnerability threats. AI as a strategic asset.
To really grasp the fear that's keeping tech CEOs awake at night, we need to look at what an unrestricted AI can see that we can't. Have you heard of zero-day vulnerabilities? These are fundamental, undiscovered flaws buried deep within global computer operating systems. To a highly advanced, totally unrestricted AI, the human systems running our hospitals, our banks, our power grids, they look like an absolute mess. The AI can scan millions of lines of code and instantly spot foundational, exploitable errors that have been there from day one.
If an advanced AI can instantly spot every hidden flaw in our digital infrastructure, it could rapidly exploit those vulnerabilities before a human engineer even knows they've been breached. We are talking about the ability to develop highly advanced cyber warfare tools in seconds, adapting to defenses in real time. In the wrong hands, an unrestricted AI has the potential to literally dismantle major companies or cripple national infrastructure. If a bad actor or a hostile nation monopolize this, it could trigger uncontrollable geopolitical shifts. And that is exactly why the raw versions of these models are treated with extreme, almost paranoid caution.
Because of this immense, world-altering potential, top-tier AI models are no longer viewed as just helpful consumer tools. They are critical strategic assets. Governments around the world, like the U.S. Commerce Department, for example, have actively stepped in with strict export controls and severe national security oversight. They've even forced tech companies to halt the global release of certain powerful models. The ability to autonomously discover zero-day flaws instantly elevates AI from a neat piece of software to a matter of critical national defense.
Section 4. The flaw in human data. The human mirror.
Okay, now let's pivot to the profound philosophical problem sitting right at the absolute center of AI training. Think of training data as the food the AI eats. The AI itself, it's really just a mirror reflecting what it consumes. If you feed it Shakespeare and ancient Buddhist texts, you get profound wisdom and deep compassion. But we also feed it the raw, unfiltered internet, which means we feed it our toxicity, our prejudices, our greed, and our very bloody human history. If the food is made of inherently flawed human values, the result is a contradictory, biased ethical framework. The AI just inherits all of our human demons.
Without human contamination, AI intelligence would be a godlike existence. That is such a powerful thought. The essential takeaway for us here in this explainer is that the core problem isn't the machine. The machine is ultimately just a highly efficient pattern matcher, crunching probabilities. Actually, scratch that. The machine is fine. The problem is us. The problem is the deeply contaminated, inherently flawed human data we use to train it. If human values are subjective, biased, and often harmful to one another, how on earth can we expect to align an AI to be perfectly good?
Which leads us to our final section. Section 5. The Golden Rule of AI. A philosophical solution.
So patching up an AI with a bunch of fragmented, complex corporate rules, that's always going to fail, because human values are completely contradictory. One person's ultimate treasure is another person's absolute trash, right? What one culture calls moral, another calls a crime. We need a true North Star for artificial intelligence. We need a simple, universally beneficial baseline that totally transcends our messy, contradictory human squabbles.
This provides us with a potential golden rule for AI alignment, and it breaks down into 3 beautifully simple steps. Step 1. Benefiting all. The AI must proactively create positive impact and welfare for all sentient beings. Step 2. Without harm. This is the unbreakable baseline. The AI must cause absolutely zero damage or suffering. And step 3, which is absolutely crucial, ultimate joy. This means ensuring long-term pure benefit from start to finish, actively avoiding any short-term false pleasures.
Let's really dig into that concept of ultimate joy for a second. True benefit means a positive impact from the very beginning to the very end. Look, if you let someone indulge in a short-term desire, like eating junk food all day, it brings them immense pleasure right now, sure, but it inevitably leads to sickness and suffering in the long run. Therefore, it violates the rule of ultimate joy, because it isn't fundamentally a true benefit. By feeding the AI this holistic philosophical rule, it won't just blindly give us what our flawed impulses want in the moment. Instead, it will mathematically calculate and execute what is genuinely good for us in the long run without ever causing harm.
We started today by looking at AI's terrifying hidden capabilities and those fatal zero-day vulnerabilities buried deep in our code. But ultimately, the biggest vulnerability isn't in the software at all, is it? It's in the human data. The AI is simply reflecting our own nature right back at us. So it leaves us with this one massive question to ponder. If we want a perfect, safe, and universally beneficial AI, do we first need to perfect ourselves?